Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new F1 Esports video. This is round 5 around Monza, Italy, one of my favorite tracks on the F1 Esports calendar and on the F1 game. And we're currently heading out for Q1 for our first run. A lot of people went out for mediums. I decided not to go out on mediums in Q1. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Just what I feel like is the best. And now we are heading out for our outlap in our first Q1 run. A lot of people asked if I could put up the standings, but it's not really possible to find back the standings on the F1 Esports website, as it's just the final standings. As you guys might know, F1 Esports is already finished for 2021. So, yeah, that's why I cannot put the standings up, because, yeah, it's just very tough to find them back. And as you can see, the quality is still not great. I think for Event 3 we fixed it, so next race is round 6, still Event 2, and then round 7 will be Event 3, so I hope it's fixed by then. Yeah, I know definitely the last event has sound and has better quality, so for next year we will fix those things, but all races are recorded already, so it's impossible to basically fix it now, and I still want to put them up, of course, so that's also why there's no sound, and there will be on later rounds. But anyway, Q1 now. Monza, very tricky track to get right. Low down first, of course, and then very easy to get a corner cut in validation. You're only talking about a 119.391. Expected cutoff, I think, is around 119.25. I think so. But yeah, just warming up my tires. Important to get the tires up to temperature before you head onto that long first straight, as you want to have enough tire temperature into turn 1, of course. And now heading out of the final corner, wide line to start our lap around this beautiful circuit, turning on the DRS 8 gear, and then it's just flat out all the way onto turn 1. You can see there Haas getting out of the way, braking at 100 meters down to 3rd gear, and then try to get some nice rotation. Very nice there. Late on the brakes, got good minimum speed and a good exit, so very good first sector so far. And then another very tricky braking point and chicane coming up. Pretty good first sector. 2.4 tons up on Marcel Kiefer, his medium run. And exactly how I want it again through the second chicane. 5th gear into Lesmo 1. Got the front hooked up nicely. Push it onto the exit. 5th gear, take the inside curb for some nice rotation. Bit of a moment on the exit, but that's exactly what we want. We got some nice rotation, kept the minimum speed up, and then the tricky one onto Ascari, braking at a 70 meter board, or not board actually, it's just before the 50 meter board, but in my mind I always have this 70 meter in my mind. Pretty good. Ascari there, got a bit of a slipstream from Fabrizio as he was slowing down and backing off, probably gained me like a few thousandths, and then through the final corner, backhand stepping out onto the line, it is gonna be a 119.119, and I was confident enough that was going to be enough. Just hooked it up nicely. So yeah, confidence was just high. End of Q1 now. See, some people did went faster with the help of the track evolution, but I was just confident with my lap that it would be enough. And you can see that shocker. Danny Beresne out in Q1. Michael Romanidis out. Joni Tomala out as well. So as I said, around the 119.2 was going to be the cutoff. And it's now on to Q2. This is our first lap in Q2. Used set of tires. We go P1 with a 119.270. Freddy improves by another 2 thousandths on us. And then you can see there times are tumbling down on a new set of tires. 119.075. At the time I felt like that was not going to be enough. So I went out again in Q2. And this is our final Q2 run on another new set of tires. Which means we're only going to have one more for Q3. Which makes it a little bit more tricky, you know. As I said, it's not easy to hook up a lap around Monza, and with only one new set of tires, that's just gonna make it a lot harder, you know, a lot of pressure on that final run. Through the first chicane, pretty equal on time. I think by the time we reach the second chicane, we're gonna be a few thousandths up. Or maybe not actually, with 3 thousandths down, but Delta is always jumping up and down a little bit into the second chicane. Important to keep the minimum speed up. We got some good minimum speed there, but we lost actually a little bit of time to our last run. into Lesmo 1 then. Gain a little bit of the time back through there. Second Lesmo, important to get a good exit, of course. You can see there, gain a bit of time back. Gonna be around 300 to 400 up, heading into Ascari, sorry. And then this is the hardest one. Purple middle sector, 6th gear. Carry that minimum speed without losing the back end. You can see we're gaining so much. I short shift a little bit by accident, but still managed to gain time. You can see into the final corner, we're gonna be well over a 10 top. Downshifting to 6th gear, and then just before the apex down to 5th for your short shift up to 6th. And I took it a little bit careful, you know, that final corner, because I knew I was going to go P1 here with a 118.963. Purple last sector as well. Barry Burmant in P2 behind us, and our championship rival Lucas Blakely in P4 there. So yeah, Q2, 1-2 Mercedes. Very solid there from us. Both Alpines through as well, and both Red Bulls through as well. So a lot of pressure on the final one. I don't think anyone apart from Barry has 2 new sets of tires for their final Q3 runs. This is us going into the final corner on a used set of tires. Very, very good used tire run here. Up to the line, it's gonna be a 119.012, which is extremely good for a used set of tires. That would have been P3 in last session in Q2 on a used set of tires. So very, very solid. We went fastest, even though there were people with new sets of tires. Barry was one of them. So yeah, just got it hooked up really well on that used set of tires, but now the balance is going to change again for that new set of tires, and that's what makes it so hard. The balance changes from a used set of tires to a new set. Braking for turn 1, we should be able to brake slightly later on a new set of tires, but miss the apex a little bit, and that's going to cost us on the exit. You can see we lost a few thousands, but then on the exit, because we have new tires, we managed to get a little bit back, but that was not as good as our used set of tires through there, because we should be able to gain time in every single corner. Into the second chicane now, 3rd gear. Trying to keep the minimum speed up. You can see we gained a few hundreds there. Marcel Kiefer goes P1 with a 118.980, which means we have to gain 300s at least. Going into Lesmo 2, we're 400s up. Turned in a little bit too early, and the backhand steps out through Lesmo 2, but we're 700s up. Going into the final sector. Ascari once again coming up. Braking at that 70 meters down to 6th gear. Missed the apex a little bit. And then through there, by accident, I just lost the backhand a little bit, and that cost us half a tenth. Going into the final corner now, we're only 100 up, so we've lost over half a tenth into Ascari through our used tires. Going into the final corner now, this is where we should have a lot more grip up to the line. 400s up to 8th gear, and it's gonna be pole position for now. We go ahead of Marcel Kiefer, still a lot of people to cross the line. Fabricio Donoso goes P3. Still an AlphaTauri, an Alpine, and Lucas Blakely still have to cross the line. Our teammate Danny Moreno as well, of course. So it's going to be interesting. Will they be able to go faster than us? Teammate Danny Moreno runs a little bit wide on that last corner exit, and he goes P4, but his time got deleted if I remember correctly, so he's going to have to start P9 after running wide in that final corner. Lucas Blakely up to the line, goes P4. You can see how close it is. P2 to P4 is within 8,000, and P1 to P4 was within 1.700. But now onto the race then. Didn't get to see the final result completely, but you can see here the top 5. It's us in P1, Marcel P2, Fabricio P3, Lucas Blakely P4, Sebastian Job P5. Was doing very solid in his rookie season of F1 Esports. Not easy to join as a rookie in this grid, of course. But as you can see, everyone in the top 5 on the mediums. And we can expect once again to see a lot of different strategies, as the softs can do the wall race almost. So softs are a very good race tire around here. So wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of undercuts, or a lot of people trying to do an undercut, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Don't really have a plan yet. We're just gonna try focus on our own race here. So lining up on the grid now, final car lining up in P20, which is Joni Tormela for this race. Now starting on the front row, we should have slightly better traction off the line as we are on the cleaner side of the track. You can see there everyone loading up, and now it's gonna be 3 lights 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Initially a much better start than Marcel, but the second phase was not as good. But we're going to be clear into turn 1. We're going to be braking just after the 100 meters, and we're going to be clear of everyone. So still in P1 once we go into the first chicane. And you can see there Barry Burman in P5 on the softs. I think he's one of the only ones starting on the softs. So pretty risky, because he has to get clean air very fast. As I said, the softs are a very good tire, so you don't want to be stuck behind any medium runners around here for the first few laps. But I think his whole plan is to get as much track position as possible and then try to manage it later on. I don't think he will be in to win a race at all, or this race I mean, because yeah, that's just not really a winning strategy from P7 on the grid. So he's going to have a tough race if he doesn't clear those cars fast. Because see, moving on to the end of lap 3, he did manage to clear some of those cars, and he's up to P3 now, right with me and Marcel coming across the line. Both of them are going to have DRS. I decided not to use any overtake, as, you know, the DRS is so powerful that I didn't want to drain my whole battery just to try and stay ahead of one of them. And Barry goes into the lead now of this race. And yeah, all we have to do is just follow them behind. Now we have to defend from Fabrizio because that's important. But yeah, this battle with Marcel and Barry, I didn't really want to waste a lot of time there and risk getting damaged or getting into an incident. So decided to let him go and focus on our own race from here. Moving on to the end of lap 6, you can see Barry still in P1 on that set of softs, and Marcel still ahead of us. As long as Marcel has DRS, it's going to be pretty much impossible to overtake them. I'm going to turn on my overtake button as at 100%. Marcel pits, and you can see so many people followed him in. And now we're going to try to follow Barry around for this lap. And I hope he can pull us along a little bit, because as I said, those softs are really good. So I want to stay behind him. And then once they do drop off, we can try and get past him. So you can see Nicolas Longue in P3. We just managed to get out of the DRS. That's why I'm using that overtake button, to try and create a bit of more of a gap. Moving on one lap later, once again I was getting DRS, so I decided to turn on the overtake button, turn on the DRS, and Nicolas Longue pits, but got a speeding into the pit lane penalty. So he's a 5-second penalty, which is not going to be removed definitely. And not gonna lie, in the back of my mind, I had the feeling that I had to go for another few laps, as I could maybe box and then get back into a gap somewhere in traffic. So that's why I'm letting Barry go again, and just let the other people get the undercut, you know, so that we can fight later on this race. Our teammate Danny Runner did pit at the end of lap 8, and now on to the end of lap 9. We're still with Barry, and we're going to get DRS, and this is when I want to overtake him, but he pits. So we decide to go for another lap and turn on the DRS. Wanted to use that advantage of having the DRS. So I was just going to do the opposite to what Barry was doing, and either stay out another lap or box if he stayed out. So now I'm going to be pushing as hard as I can on my in lap, because this is the lap I'm going to box for a brand new set of softs. You can see I used a lot of my ERS to try and get as good as a lane lap as possible, and now we're going to be recharging the battery, of course, in the pit lane. So boxing for a brand new set of softs, and it's going to be interesting where we're going to come out. It's going to be very important. I think the pit delta is around 20.5 seconds, maybe 21 seconds. You can see Lucas Blakely in P5, 19.6 seconds. And this is going to be interesting. How many people are going to overtake us? Coming out of the pits now, it's Nicolas Longue in P5, and coming out, we are just behind Simon. And honestly, this was not really planned. I thought I was going to have way more track position than this. So, yeah, this is just not very ideal, not going to lie. As I expected to be way further up front. And, yeah, now we have to overtake 9 cars if we still want to win this race in the space of 9 laps, less than 9 laps. So this is going to be a very tough job. We don't have a full battery as well, but I'm going to try and attack Simon here straight away. I don't know what lap Simon boxed, of course. Red Bull is in a 1-2 position at the moment, so they are in a much better position right now, but of course they went for a very aggressive undercut, so their tires might drop off very aggressively later on. And you can see Sebastian Job in P6, or teammate Danny Moreno P7. He boxed 2 laps earlier than us, so he went for a strategy somewhere in between, not super aggressive on both sides. And now David Tenitza in P8. We're going to try and get past him here with the use of the overtake button. He squeezes a bit to the inside. And you can see I had to turn off the overtake button simply because he was using so much. And he was going to go for a move on Sebastian Job here. I did try to follow him around. And of course, don't think Sebastian is going to make it easier or easy for us. As the Red Bull cars are in 1-2. So, of course, we are in a bit of a difficult situation here, as David is lifting here to try and keep us behind. But yeah, we just pushed him, as if it's such a soft tap, you're not going to get damage anyway. So I just decided to push him around even though he was lifting. And now David, because he lifted, he's not going to get any DRS on this next straight, which makes our life a lot easier. So I'm going to turn on the overtake button and we're going to get DRS here. And now it's going to be a really easy pass into Ascari, because see, this battling has cost us so much ERS, and now I need to try and get back into the DRS of our teammate Danny Moreno with 1.1 seconds ahead. I'm going to turn on the overtake button, and you can see we will get DRS on the next raid. And you know, kind of need to recharge my battery, but at the same time I still need to overtake so many cars, as we're still in a net P7 only after starting on pole position. So this is not an easy situation. We need to recharge our battery as fast as possible, and at the same time not lose time. You see 1 lap later, maybe 2 laps later, I'm not sure, I've caught up to my teammate Danny Moreno, and we have recharged our battery a little bit. I'm going to turn on the overtake button as we decided to swap the cars into turn 1, so I could try and get past Nicolas Longue. Danny lifts a little bit. And then we go into P6. Now we straight away can start attacking Nicolas Longue. As that was a bit of a weird situation. They were all going very slow up front. So didn't decide to go for a move just yet. You can see they're battling up front. Lucas Blakely is flashing, which means he's low on battery. And going through this next section, they're going side by side. Which makes my life a lot easier on the exit. I'm going to turn on the overtake button. I know Lucas has no ERS to play with. And now we're going to be up to P5 with Nicolas Longue and Fabricio Donoso both having a penalty. We're in a net P3 basically, but we still have to get past them to get ahead of the Red Bulls. And we do not have a lot of ERS. They're not going to make it easy for us, of course, in this race. So, yeah, not an ideal situation with 4 laps to go, more or less. I'm going to turn on the overtake button again, but Nicolas is doing the same to try and keep us behind. You see Fabricio giving him a little slipstream. I decided to back off and try to fight later on in maybe this lap or the next lap. Once again, I turn on the overtake button to try and get closer, maybe have a go into the final corner, but Nicolas was kind of doing the same and protecting himself from that. You can see very close there into the final corner, and now we're so close, you can see. And we're going to turn on the overtake button again to try and get past this time into turn 1. You can see he's not making it easy. He has the slipstream from Fabricio, of course. And into turn 1, we're going to be braking very late, but we can't brake too late because Fabricio is right there. And now into turn 2, Nicolas pushes us onto the curb a little bit. Now we're going to turn on the overtake button again, as he's hitting us here. And now, oh, and I don't remember this, but we almost crashed on the straight there. Because of the contact model, if you hit on the straight, it creates a bit of a bounty effect. But now, because he was battling us so hard, he has lost 3 positions, so he's down to P7. Danny Moreno and Lucas Blakely both got past. And now on to the final 2 laps. I'm going to turn on the overtake button again. We should have much better tires than Freddy Rasmussen and Fabricio Donoso. Especially Frederick Rasmussen, who went very aggressive with the strategy. You can see Marcel and Freddy are going side by side into turn 1, so Fabricio cannot really attack as much. we can see the switchback we get right here. We're going to try and go around the outside. Freddy, of course, wants to give the slipstream to Fabrizio because we have much better tires. So if we get past Fabrizio, then we are easily going to get past Freddy. We're going to go down the inside here. But yeah, I backed off because I was way too late there. But I just wanted to go a little bit deep there to try and get out ahead of Fabrizio. So we're up to P3 now. But there's only 1.5 lap remaining and we have no battery basically. Freddy is going to get once again DRS from Marcel. I'm using all of my battery here to try and do something into Ascari. You can see Freddy is flashing as well, but nothing we can do. Marcel's flashing up ahead as well. So if we can get past Freddy, then it means we will get clear air and have a free run on Marcel. And that's what I'm trying here. I'm trying to get ahead of Freddy into the final corner. We're going side by side into the final corner. And now we're going to have clear air onto the final lap. And as you know, we have much fresher tires. We have 5 lap fresher tires than Marcel. And even though we're going side by side here again, we should have the better line going around the outside. But right here we're going 3 wide. So teammate Danny Moreno goes down the inside. I was trying to go side by side, just like the Red Bulls did in the previous lap. But Danny went a bit wide in the first one. And then we lost a lot of time to Marcel in that first chicane. And now we are P2, P3. So actually Freddy has spun because of an incident. I think David Zanitza tapped him around. And that just spun him around and dropped him out of the points. So unfortunate for Freddy, who was driving a really good race from like P7. But he's out of the points now and we're basically gaining time, points to Red Bull, sorry. As I get a big tank slapper on that exit there. As I was still trying to push. But yeah, Marcel was too far ahead. A bit of dirty air from Danny through the first last mode, of course. And now we're just gonna chill and we're gonna finish on track in P3. Danny got a penalty for overtaking Fabrizio Donoso off track, I think so. So we're going to be finishing P2. I don't know where Danny is going to finish, but I think we will still gain points to Red Bull. So yeah, still a good race nonetheless. I was very disappointed, of course. Starting from pole and finishing P2 is not ideal. But yeah, it's still a podium. You can see Freddy Rasmussen P8 there after spinning around in the first chicane. So yeah, we did gain points to our championship rivals, Lucas Blakely and Freddy Rasmussen. Disappointed we didn't get the win though, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video nonetheless. Hope you guys will watch the rest of the F1 Esports videos as well. As I said, quality I think will improve from event 3, although I think the quality is not that bad, it's just the sound that's lacking. But hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys want to see more, and see you guys next time. Ciao!